Extreme drought, floods, landslides, fires, typhoons, and other natural hazards are expected to become a common occurrence due to human-induced climate change. Impact, mitigation, adaptation, and policies that are related to this issue may seem gender neutral, but in reality, there are extensive gender dynamics linked to climate change. Research has shown that climate change is disproportionately affecting various population groups. Gender roles in society greatly impact a person's vulnerability to climate change. For example, research has shown that rural women are most vulnerable due to their dependence on natural resources, involvement in agricultural duties, and lack of formal education. This project will examine populations of vulnerable women to climate change in Thailand. Female participation in environmental management in Thailand has been notably lower than that of men. Only 8% of the National Environment Board was female in 2006. It is important that women are involved in these policies and management processes because their families and livelihood are dependent on natural resources. Using ArcGIS 10.4.1, a vulnerability map was created to show areas that have vulnerable female populations. Data on hazard projections was collected from the Global Risk Data Platform to demonstrate areas with high susceptibility to climate change hazards. Hazards included in this projection are floods, droughts, landslides, cyclones, fires, and earthquakes. In this map, areas with low to extremely high risk of the mentioned climate change hazards are shown. Three indicators were selected to determine areas with disadvantaged women: the percentage of women with access to mobile phones, the percentage of women giving birth at the age of 20 or younger, and gross attendance rate of females to secondary school. Hazards projection and the three indicators were inputted into the weighted sum tool to create an overlay that combines the weights of the inputs to create a ranking of areas from low to high vulnerability. This map was produced using the gathered data sets. We can see that many areas ranked with high vulnerability are areas near rivers and water bodies, as flood is an extreme risk in many parts of Thailand due to the floodplain geographical characteristic. It was found that the northern regions and southern regions had areas with extreme vulnerability. The following are provinces that are extremely vulnerable. Random point generator tool in ArcGIS, we were able to extract raster values for those points from the vulnerability map and the climate change hazard projection map. The purpose was to compare what percentage of women are categorized as living in extreme vulnerability and are residing in areas that are considered extremely high hazard risk. "42% of women that are extremely vulnerable are residing in areas with high risk of climate change hazards. Meanwhile, only 8% with least vulnerability are living in areas with high risk of climate change hazard. 77% of women that are least vulnerable are living in areas with low risk of hazards. In contrast, only 7% of women with low risk are living in high climate change hazard areas. These findings suggest that there are a disproportionately high percentage of extremely vulnerable women living in high climate change risk areas. Future studies should include more indicators such as educational attainment and involvement of women in local government. In addition, data at fine levels of geography would be helpful, such as at the province and city level. Currently, all indicator data are found in the political region level. With more detailed datasets, this project aims to be a model that can be applied to other countries, especially other Southeast Asian nations that are still suffering from many gender inequality issues and are at risk of climate change hazards.